Howdy, folks, and welcome to episode 226. Is this real life or is it just fantasy? Uh, Pardon me while I extricate myself from my cat. Um, Hope everybody's doing well. Charles, good to see you here, buddy. I'm glad everything is okay for those that didn't know. Uh, Charles posted on his Facebook page that he was in the hospital getting checked out and it's all okay. So we're glad to have you back. Um, Telemachus says you might be a gamer if I'm right and you're wrong. Yes, very true. Very true. Um, Elevator logic, yeah. Reese comes in to the post and says, good to see you alive and well, Charles. And ice pack on the back. Yeah, I've been there, done that, brother. It's not fun. Um, and then freezing his towel for his wrist and arm. Well, you take it easy. Um, you use your other arm to roll the dice and be careful out there. Don't want to see you get more damaged than is necessary, so to speak. So, hi, sweetie. Um, Speaking of damage, there's going to be a lot of damage going on tomorrow night. I am taking Ocean Thunder over to my buddy Doug Pappert's house, and we're going to run Battle Surigao straight. I'm going to play the Japanese. Everybody else is going to play the Americans, and they're going to kick my living teeth in. So that ought to be interesting. And then Saturday, we're going to be playing over at Jay Wiley's. We're going to be doing a Fistful of Lead weekend. He's got the Great Revenant Hunt. We might have some other games. I'm not sure, but if you can't make it to the Kansas City metro area and enjoy a game there, by all means, run your own game of Fistful of Lead, Tales of Horror, and send photos to Jay Wiley, and you might just get something out of it. I think he's thinking about doing a drawing of anybody that runs a game that is Halloween or spooky based, whether they use Tales of Horror or not, as long as it's a Fistful of Lead game and it's got something eerie about it. Send in some photos and you might get something cool out of it. So we'll have to see. So it's if you don't have a copy of Fistful of Lead Tales of Horror, now is the best time to get it, because now until next Friday, that's what, 10 days from now, you can get a copy, hard copy or digital copy, for 20 or 25% off. I can't remember which, including the card deck. So now's the time to do it. So, and then also, when you want to make your miniatures look really, really good with basing material, head on over to Special Artisan Services Miniatures and pick up your basing material from there. It's pre-mixed, it's pre-made, and it's in a well closed tub, so no worries of it coming in a busted bag coming to you. No worries of it being having to find something to put it in once you get it there. So definitely take a look. I'm going to be putting in an order here soon. So seeing if McMurray can bring me a couple of buckets with him, so I can continue to get my stuff based, because I got to get these guys done. Once I get these guys done, they got to get based. So I gotta get some of that material. So, um, so yeah, I was hoping to be able to get to hold off starting talking about the topic until McMurray got here, but he's probably stuck dealing with stupidity. So,
Most likely.
yeah. So, and that's why he's not making it over this weekend for Wiley's Weird War Game weekend. Oh, excuse me. Got the yawn something fierce today. I don't know why. Anyway, um, so the topic tonight: when we do our gaming, do we prefer something more Hollywood, or do we want a more simulation? What is our preferences? And for me, I kind of sit somewhere in between. Um, and I know, like with naval gaming, I definitely don't like the I definitely don't like simulation, because therein lies Fletcher Pratt rules, and the deal with Fletcher Pratt rules is I'm sure there are people out there that like them, but the fact that you're tracking the shells that you're firing, and you have to know your angle of incidence to the target and the target's angle to the incoming shells, and the angle of the shells as they come into the target. Like, I if I'm not mistaken, there's actual trigonometry tables in the rules, and that's just a bit beyond what I want to play. But on the flip side, there is abstraction to the point of almost uselessness. And what I mean there is the original general quarters rules. I played the original general quarters rules once with Chris Copeland, and that's what put me down the rabbit hole for the last near 25, 30 years. However long ago 1992 was. How long ago was 1992? That was, oh shit, that was like
33 years ago.
33 years ago. Holy shit. Okay, so yeah, for the last 33 years. So yeah, Charles, I'm right there with you, dude. Um, he says trigonometry, heck no. Yeah, I'm no, thank you. Um, so we sat, um, we played the game once. We were sitting on the living room floor of my townhouse in Lee Summit, uh, and we were using our Axis, the little ships out of Axis and Allies. And I'm not talking about Axis and Allies ships. I'm talking about the ships that come in the Axis and Allies board game, because there was no such thing as Axis and Allies naval game with the model ships.
Well, that was back before each individual country had specific model ships, wasn't it?
Right. They all looked like the the Tennessees.
Mm-hmm.
You know, 4 forward, 4 back, with a big superstructure in the middle, and the only differentiation was color. So, yeah. battleships were the battleships. We used the cargo ships as destroyers or cruisers, as the case may be. And then uh, we played using those. We realized, hey, we like playing naval games, but the abstraction we have with them is with these rules is too much for us. We want a little more. We want something more. Um, and so we started modifying what we were doing. We were modifying the rules as as uh, as gamers are wont to do. And my wife at the time said, if y'all are changing the rules up so much, why don't you just write your own rules?" And that's how we got to starting to write Ocean Thunder. So, which I believe, and many of that have played feel that it's a nice balance between simulation and I don't want to call Hollywood, but being too far. I
Beer
used the
and
word
pretzels.
earlier. No, because my game's still beer and pretzels. I mean, you can very easily not take the game seriously if you don't want to. But then again, you can. No, abstracted. There's the word. It's not too abstracted. So, Scala Gremlin says the problem with heavy simulationists is that you as a single person have to replicate the count for the actions of 500 well-trained experts at their jobs. And what takes them 3 minutes takes you 5 hours. With abstractions, it's just finding a game whose metaphor matches your own, so to speak. And I agree. I totally agree. And then there are also people that think that, and my brother says it a lot more eloquently than I do, but there are games out there that deal with minute details that you wouldn't necessarily need to be worried about as being the person in charge of a squadron of destroyers or a flight of aircraft or the general of a battle, that type of thing. As the commander of a armored brigade, I don't need to worry about what shell tank number 3-2 is firing at the enemy. I'm going to go on the assumption that tank crew is doing their job. So, going in with, oh, it's so realistic. I'm tracking the shells of each tank, and I'm telling them how each one is supposed to fight. And but
that's a micromanager. That's not a
that's not what a actual commander of a tank a tank division does, or a tank brigade, or a tank battalion, or hell, even a tank company, or even a tank platoon. The only person that is really worried about which shell a tank is firing is going to be the tank commander. And even then, in all honesty, even the tank commander isn't going to be really worrying about it. That's going to be more of the loader and the gunner. Yes, the commander will call out targets, but once the heat of battle gets going, you know it's the gunner and the loader more than even the tank commander. Again, I get it. The tank commander is calling out targets, but he's going to say, tank 3 o'clock, and the loader is going to know, hey, I need a sabot for that. Now, if it's going to be, if the tank commander wants a round that's different than what would normally take to take care of that target, then yeah, he'll specify. So I could see tracking your ammo if you were playing a single tank.
I want to step away for just a second.
Okay.
I'll be back 5 minutes or so.
Yeah, Scal Gremlin says, don't forget your +2 modifier for variation in barometric pressure from chart 97D, roll on table 107A if your battle is after 2:37 p.m. within 6 miles of the prime meridian. Oh, and also keep in mind you need to be aware of your slope and distance to the nearest body of water. So, and there are games like that, and I'm sure there are people out there that love to play those games. And I'm not saying that they can't play those games. I'm not saying that they're wrong. That's just not my way of gaming. I prefer a more laid-back style of gaming. This past weekend, I went over to Joel's house, and we played Quadrant 13 again. And Chris Copeland had to drive his daughter to the airport so she could fly home. And he was gone about an hour and a half, and well, we got like a turn and a half done in that hour and a half. Not because the rules take that much time to do, but it's because we did a lot of chatting. Because we see it as a social function as well as a gaming function. Big Murray, how are you doing tonight?
Not too bad. Not too bad. Did you guys talk about Chuck?
Yeah, Charles is here with us.
Holy fuck, that's awesome. Charles, what's up, dude?
Yeah, he's just got really bad pulled muscle.
Oh, hell yeah. Well, you got to stop fighting ninjas and stuff, Charles.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what saved him was that orc blood.
Hey, man. Whatever works.
Yeah.
Well, that's wonderful to hear.
Yeah, so good to there. Got Scala Gremlin chatting away with us. The topic tonight is where we like in the spectrum of gaming between a hard simulation and Hollywood / abstraction. Where do we like to game? And Scholar Gremlin says, yeah, I don't mind some granularity, but I don't want to be chewing on sand and calling a game. I agree. And I think I think there's some decent granularity with Ocean Thunder. You actually get to see where shells impact on the ship. But I'm not tracking every single shell that's ever fired from the guns. There is some abstraction there as well. So, but yeah. How about you, McMurray? Where are you? You're probably about the same place, aren't you?
Well, Toddy and I have been known to play, bulge games in the winter in the garage. with the fans on, that was getting pretty deep into the granularity of realism and whatnot.
Well, I mean that puts you into the proper mindset.
Oh yeah.
You know, that'd
So
be
that
like
fucking sucked.
if I wanted to do North Atlantic convoy crossings and I had an ice bucket in front of the fan blowing against me, and then a mister, you know, having the spray blowing into my face.
Yeah. Exactly. That's always my fun part when people get into, well, it's not that realistic. It's like, man, my heart rate isn't like 150 beats per minute, and I haven't pissed myself. So
Right. Exactly.
get fucked with that one.
Yeah, I'm not I'm not gonna need to wear my brown pants going to play a game.
Yeah. But that being said, it depends on what it is. Depends on the scale of the game, also.
Oh, Scalagrim, you kill me. He says playing bulge games in the garage with with the fans on. Are we not doing phrasing anymore?
Scale. The issue is we were playing Avalon Hills Battle of the Bulge, and it was cold enough that the biggest fight we had was trying to whip 2 inches of dick out of 3 or 4 inches of Carhartt to take a piss outside. It was cold. It was miserable.
Been there. That's not fun.
No, it's
Oh.
not, man.
Oh,
It is
God,
dangerous.
That
Uh,
hurt.
Yeah, like not quite to the scale of third story piss goes thunk, but like it gets cold enough in St. Louis that every now and again at night, if you stand on the third story of a parking garage and you take a leak, you can make like weird hail sleet stuff. It happens.
The more you know.
I don't know if it was
Pistons.
quite that cold, but no, it's not snow. It's like it's nastier than snow. I don't know, but yeah,
Oh,
pretty much. But no, so I mean, back to where I was going. It kind of depends on the size and like scale of game that I'm playing. Right, like the good example is a lot of especially naval games get you can get pretty into the weeds where you almost have more of a resource management thing going than combat, especially when you get into like Age of Sail stuff. Like a lot of what I would call quite detailed Age of Sail games really break down into resource management, which is kind of cool. It's definitely a very different sort of game than you might be expecting or used to playing for Age of Sail. But at the same time, every now and again, you'll run into something there where you start to almost lose a little bit of that realism because all of a sudden we've talked about this before, and it's not usually on an overall scale. I don't remember the name of the game, but I played a naval game one time where you had to assign damage crew, like how many damage crew go to each fire, how many damage crew go to each hole, stuff like that, while you're also assigning top men and everything else. And it's like, hang the fuck on. I'm not.
Were they mysteriously shaped like meeples?
No, it was entirely paper based.
Because that would make it a worker placement game.
Oh, fair. But
which is a completely different thing, which I don't mind as long as that's what the game is supposed to be.
Correct. And that's my point of sometimes you run into those sort of mechanics in a game where they are wholly out of place, and that really pisses me the fuck off. Where you've got stuff, that's kind of abstracted or whatever else, and then all of a sudden you have one mechanic that is just obnoxious. or one piece of bookkeeping that's just obnoxious. And the one that I'm sure jumps to everybody's mind, 'cause it's the one that is just blaring in the front of my mind like a neon sign in Vegas, is ammo tracking in Battle Group, which is the dumbest fucking thing that I've committed to and watched people commit on en masse to in wargaming in a long time. Like, oh, I'm commanding a battalion of armor or a battalion of infantry and then a couple companies of armor. Well, how many armor piercing shells does that tank have? Oh, huh. Like, get fucked, man.
Yeah.
Not only that, but you've got a bunch of them because they try and make it really, 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 really specific. And at least in the first in the early books, every tank carried the same number of HE and armor piercing. And it's just like, this is dumb. I don't get it, man.
Yeah,
It's
like
not
I
an
was
overall bad system, but that mechanic being in it just pisses me off to the point where I don't feel like I need to play it.
it's, it's like I was saying before you showed up. As a battalion commander or brigade commander or whatever level commander, I shouldn't be worried about what round a specific tank or a platoon of tanks are firing. I'm going to take it for granted that the people controlling those vehicles are choosing the appropriate ammunition to fire at their targets of choice.
Yeah. And if you want to play, a game where you're abstracted down to telling your loader exactly what to do, telling your driver exactly what to do, telling your A gunner exactly what to do, telling your bow gunner exactly what to do, that's fine. But I'm not playing that game, so
At
it's
brigade
confusing.
level.
If you, for crying out loud, I don't know. And it's not that I necessarily dislike games that get that into the weeds, right? Sometimes that shit's pretty fun. But there's certainly a time and a place, and it seems like there are very, very few games that are written and designed to be, executed at that level across the board. And it's just frustrating when games sometimes try and half commit to that.
Yeah. Scala here says, played old school MechWarrior and Starfleet Battle, so minutia of details is not a deal breaker for me, but I need the bookkeeping to not take longer than actual playing. Now, one thing I'm going to say about Starfleet Battles is I've personally never played the game. Not for any other reason than I've never been around someone that knows the rules well enough to actually play the game well and teach me how to play it. But I have seen it in practice, and we were at a recruits one year. My brother had brought some Zachi starships based off the Franz Joseph drawings in the technical manual. And we played Full Thrust Light with them. We had, what was it? We had 8 Federation ships and 9, I think it was, 9 D7s. And before we started the game, we kind of walked around to see what was going on. And somebody had a game of Starfleet Battles. And it looked really nice. The ships were pretty. We go back. We play the full game to completion of ours. And by the time we went walking around again, the Starfleet Battles game had proceeded to, I think, move half of the ships that were on the table. I was like,
I
no
think I'm out at
thanks.
that point.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Mike's in the house. How you doing, Meandering Mike? I'll let Charles tell you yourself, but I think he's doing okay. He will give you the details.
Yeah, dude. Charles is strong as fuck, dude.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is. So, but I mean, I have played several different types of Star Trek games, and one of them that does have a fair bit of minutia tracking, but isn't to the level of Starfleet Battles, and that's the FASA Star Trek miniatures game. I really enjoyed playing that one. It had it had power tracking, and you couldn't power everything that you wanted all at the same time. There was a bit of balancing between shields and firepower and maneuvering. So, there was a bit of that, but we still were able to run, 2 or 3 ships each. So we had a good time with that.
Should you really be drinking, Charles?
I think wasted as in he's just worn out.
Charles doesn't get worn out. Charles fucks, dog. Charles is getting hammered. Wasted, dude. Well, that's fair. You should be careful about your blood sugar, though. I don't know how it's affected by, a good solid out of the hospital bender. But yeah, be careful about that.
Right. No. Now, there's one game that I could see really diving into the minutia, and it doesn't, and I'm okay with it, and that's What a Tanker. Because you are only running 1, maybe 2 tanks, you could get down into the weeds of what rounds you're firing at what vehicles, etc., if you wanted to. But it doesn't, and it still provides a really good game. It still gives the feeling of, hey, I'm a tank commander. I have the feeling of what it potentially could be like. Now, at no point in time do I think, oh yeah, I've got the exact same experience as a tank commander of an M4 Sherman going into battle in 1944. No, I'm never going to have that feeling pushing around plastic models.
It's
When we
a
get a
lot
little
better
more
than.
diesel fumes getting in the room, you'll be good.
Can you
What's that?
imagine the chair you'd have to sit in if you were a T-70 or a T-34 commander?
Oh yeah.
That would
Well, for one
suck,
thing, I'm
dude.
too fucking tall.
I was saying,
Oh,
when
yeah.
we pump some more diesel fumes in the room, you'll be good.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, but
If you're a British guy, you got a concussion because they issue a damn beret instead of a helmet.
right.
Yeah.
Well, and drink lots of tea,
Mm-hmm.
because you got to have the tea warmer in the tank.
Well, they didn't at the time, and that's how a whole bunch of them got killed, and that's the reason why they started putting them into all the tanks after, like, I think the Centurion on.
Yeah, because they would get out of the tank to heat up over the engine block.
And then all of a sudden you start getting shot at.
Yeah. Fucking Brits and their appropriated customs. John, if you're listening,
Hell yeah,
to this,
Charles.
I kid. I kid.
Get yourself a
There
good
you
old
go, Charles.
pupperino and enjoy, buddy.
Absolutely. Get a dog and start walking that thing.
That or have all the legions of women signing up for Time Widget, put their names into a hat, and you can pull one out every day and decide who you're going to go for a walk with.
There you go.
Either one. Heck yeah, dude.
So, but yeah, any game where you are, you know, you've moved down to be controlling like a single tank or a fire team of men could get really down deep into the minutia. But again, I'm of the mind if I'm going to get that far down into the weeds, I might as well play a role-playing game.
Yep. Well,
Which again, I don't have a problem with.
I
it's
like
for the extra. It's for the extra detail that you really get it. Like Toddy and I were talking about playing either Jugula or Sons of Mars, and being Festiculae. So like guys who fought just essentially as boxers,
Right.
and we're just going to start punching each other in the face when we got a hit and stuff. And then a critical, we just get to hoof the other guy in the nuts.
There you go.
You know, for the realism and stuff.
Right. Yeah.
Um,
I like just enough simulation in my games that I don't forget what I'm playing. So what I mean by that is if you remove the miniatures and they were represented by random pieces of paper with numbers on them, you would know roughly what we're playing based on how they interact. Like you would know you're playing my air combat game by the mechanics and by the rules.
Playing the
would
sound
know-
effects.
Well, yeah, that too. I mean, but you would know you're playing some sort of skirmish scenario by the way things move. That's good enough for me.
Yeah. What about your hat?
What do you mean by that?
Like when we're playing Eat Hitler or something.
Oh yeah, the hats are
Or-
nice. They
or, you
help
know,
remember.
The Treasure Island scenarios and stuff. You know what you're playing because of your hat. And a couple of them, you know how good you're doing based on your hat.
That is
Yes.
true.
Yeah.
I was 4 levels. I was 4 levels up.
Yeah. Exactly. Like,
Oh,
Priorities
I
and
don't need
serious
it. I don't
business.
need it.
The only thing I missed out on, and I think it was because you didn't have it, was the eye patch.
yeah, I think I forgot those here, but yeah. Yeah. I need to take Eat Hitler or something similar back to some local stuff here because it's pretty delightful.
Yeah, I really think like sharks going after divers.
Like
Or,
scuba divers or my guys in the water?
like scuba divers or people just swimming. You know,
I've got some 54
Sur-
millimeter like UDT divers.
surfers. You know,
Oh,
surfers.
I thought you were talking about my like pirates that were in the water
That'd be cool
that I
too.
made.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Mutt's in the house. How you doing, Mutt?
Good morning, Brian.
He says he's fallen into a solo RPG hole.
Uh-huh.
That's a pretty deep hole.
Yeah, it is. I mean, normally that costs extra. But
So RPGs love Brian. It's all good.
Scala says immersive gameplay, kick in the nuts.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
It's a lot harder to do with modern combat and like Civil War stuff because, well, if people ask you questions at work when you have a triangular bayonet wound,
Right.
But when you got a little bit of a stumble because somebody hooked you in the nutsack, whatever, man.
Yeah. Or you've got a sprained thumb because you over rotated your drone.
Yeah, it's all good. Nothing big about that. But nah, I don't know. That is always one of those like when people freak out because the game isn't realistic enough. It's like that you're staring at like 400 1-inch tall toy soldiers, right? And we're in so and so's basement.
Yeah.
Okay, just curious.
We can make it a realistic war game. Pick up that sword and let's get at it.
Yeah, dude. That's true.
Maybe
Maybe that's what we'll do. Next Fire and Fury game I'll go to, I'll bring an 1861 Springfield and the bayonet and just be like, all right, let's make this realistic.
Yeah.
I saw a game one time. I don't remember where. It was a gunfighter game where they gave you a Nerf gun and you shot a target, and depending on where you hit the targets, what damage you did.
And that's how the cavemen game that Whitehorse does. You determine hits with throwing weapons by throwing a wadded up piece of paper at somebody, and if they have cover, they can stand behind a chair.
Can they pick up the chair?
No, because then it's not cover anymore.
It's a shield, I guess.
Mm-hmm. But then I think you throw colored rocks to determine, essentially die rolls. That's what we should play, Chris. I need to find a whole bunch more cavemen miniatures, but those are deceptively hard to find in aesthetics that work together.
Right.
Like I tried ordering those Denisovians from Eureka, except for, again, we're right back to Eureka and that place being unhappy with me, I guess, because they never sent out my order or sent out the replacement order.
Okay.
But, hello, Jeff. Hello, Brian. Hex to Hex has played some pretty realistic games. I left Jeff a game that he played very, very, very realistically. If he wants to hop on and talk about that at some point, but yeah, it's
Well, y'all seem to enjoy the airplane games where they're not super realistic but still are a ton of fun.
correct. Because I'm playing a game, not worrying about spending the rest of my my next few years in a Luftstalag, which is something I definitely prefer, is playing a game, not worrying about a PIW camp.
Right.
No, you're just more concerned about not spilling your tea on the battlefield.
Yeah, correct.
Perfect.
We did almost do that. That's fair. It is very true.
Good times.
Hey, just make sure there's not greasy pepperoni fingers all over your miniatures, right?
Hey, now we did that already too.
I'm about to say greasy pepperoni or fucking Cheeto dust.
Y'all need to come back down. I'll rent that building, but you can both get down here at the same time. We'll do it again.
We had a guy that was coming out to the Thursday games, not every time, but rather more frequently, who would sit down with two of the little snack bags of Cheetos and start playing, and had to have a little like, hey man, don't do that. And he got like halfway butthurt about it. And he's like, I wouldn't get mad if people did that with my figures. It's like, well, buddy, you play 40K and none of your figures are painted. So
yeah, I think I'd start packing a package of wet wipes and just aggressively wiping his hands until he got the idea.
No, he just got told, hey man, well then, unfortunately, you don't have to play with other people's toys, not ours.
Even better.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just one of those, well, I don't mind when people do it. I do it with my miniatures. Oh, well, cool. Then you should continue to do that with your miniatures. That's fantastic.
And what game are you running here?
Well, yes.
Yeah.
But either way, not to beat a dead horse, that was just one of those. This is a little frustrating, buddy, but okay.
Mm.
Mm.
I do
Mutt's
not
gotta-
need to be looking at miniatures tonight, but I am looking at miniatures tonight.
Mutt's getting spinal injections in the near future. That is not so bueno.
Ooh.
Until they tell you of what, he said he was having some posture problems, so he's getting spinal injections of Viagra, and that thing will never go on. You'd just go straighten his back out like you wouldn't believe.
Right?
It's going to be perfect. It's going to be basically a cyborg, man.
But the problem with that is if he goes anti-scoliosis for more than 4 hours, he does need to call a doctor.
It's true. Yeah. Well, you win some, you lose some, but that's okay.
Yeah,
Okay. That was too good of a joke. Just too good.
Hell yeah, dude.
Oh man.
Tell me
Yeah,
why
they-
I don't need 54 millimeter Pirates and Royal Navy.
I think you're high because you certainly do.
I just have nothing to use them with. But they look so cool.
Each
You
other.
mean you don't have any. Exactly. You have them.
I'll tell you what. There is a local guy that I am 100% sure I've sent you pictures of his games who most of the time he actually plays in his backyard.
Hang on
Which
a second,
is-
guys. I got to step away, but I'll be back to that. Plays in the backyard.
I'm going to fight you, dude. I'm not. Reese is a nice boy. We're going to get Reese to get a bunch of 54 millimeter
Pirates and Royal Navy.
and Royal Navy, and it's going to be an awesome when he gets back here. It's going to be an outstanding day because I have an idea. It's going to be quite fun. But at any rate, I'm trying to figure out.
Okay, I'm back for you to fight me.
Okay, so we got a local guy who plays 54 mil. I mean everything. He's the guy who does ACW, AWI. He did the 54 millimeter Battle of St. Louis stuff. One of his true passions though is 54 millimeter naval games.
That's crazy.
Recently he did something that had I think 200 or 300 cannon and shore fortifications, 33 ships, and just a huge number of figures, right? So the point of this story is you do the figures, I'll make the ships and do the ships.
You'll make the ships if I do the figures?
Yes.
Okay. Well,
It will be entirely waterline wood.
that's fine.
And absolutely. Are you high? Of course I will make the ships if you do the things. Are you shitting me, Reese?
Nothing crazy.
I just put shoes on and I realized that it's going to take you at least an hour to order them, so I don't have to go out to the garage right now.
No, it's going to take me longer than that because I'm going to wait till after I get the shed finished, but then I'll order them.
Well, I mean, at the
Because
same time,
here's my logic on it.
it's going to take a while for the stuff to get here, so you probably need to order it. Then all of a sudden, you'll have motivation to finish the shed.
No, because
Yeah.
I don't want them to be piled under because they'll get here long before the shed's finished.
Not maybe with that attitude.
I want them when they get here. I want to be able to put them on top of the painting pile and not just bury them underneath other stuff.
That's fair.
So
That's fair. But yeah, Steve's collection is quite prodigious around here, and it's wildly impressive because he'll go out and
they're also stupid expensive, and I would need to save a little bit. I think.
oh, hang on, whoa, that's weird
What?
that they're stupid expensive. He always talks about it as a halfway budget project for him in the long run.
What? Where's he getting his figures?
I don't know. I'll ask him though.
Okay, because what I'm looking at is I'm looking at Expeditionary Force figures and LOD figures.
You mean like armies in plastic or whatever don't have them or anything?
Armies and Plastic doesn't really have naval guys. Armies, if they did, I'd do that. They're great. But Expeditionary Force and LOD are super detailed. I'm looking at for a Royal Naval Landing Party,
No, hang on.
nine figures for $37.
These are like almost, they're not quite toy soldier plastic, but that's close to what they are. Hang on.
Okay.
Um,
For a pirate crew with cannons, it's $41. Wow, these prices went up.
yeah, we're not fucking with that. Hang on a minute.
So for LOD, I'm
Try
probably
try Mars figures.
Oh, okay.
Wait a minute, those aren't them. Hang on.
Mars isn't bad.
Yeah, hang on. Those aren't the ones I'm thinking of.
Mars has got some zombie pirates that are decent.
Hang on. What about? Now I'm just scrolling to try and find the ones that Steve uses. Because I mean it's quite wild and pretty awesome. No, some of them might be Glencoe. I think some of them are Glencoe. Let's see here. There's a whole bunch of those for a little less than $1 a fig. It looks like on eBay, or at least some of them.
Well, I'd be looking at small skirmish forces too, just because that's what I'd like to do.
You know how many pirates are crammed onto a ship?
All of them.
Yeah, that's actually true. All of them, as many as possible. The other thing I think he was talking about was he had a bunch of stuff where he had gotten a whole bunch of like kits that then he also was able to use. Let's look 135 pirates. Some of the figures as like he'd split them, right? Like he'd take the figures that looked closer to Royal Navy guys and split them as Royal Navy and then do the rest as pirates and stuff. Again, this might have to be one of those things just like Cowboys that I need to bug that we need to bug the War Games Atlantic guy
Oh, and just 3D print them.
to make, and then yeah, we can just 3D print the bejesus out of them. Oh yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about. So I know you guys have heard ad nauseum to a certain extent about how I thought that, or about how I was confused how War Games Atlantic wasn't the same guys or guy who did War Games Factory back in the day. Apparently, it is.
Okay.
That hit the internet today because Hudson Adams, the guy who runs War Games Atlantic, said, "Hey, Tony Reedy or Tommy Reedy, that's me." And then he said the point of him doing that was that he's going to make right a Kickstarter that they were doing in conjunction with somebody with a different company that bailed and didn't work out. And so he dropped today that he was going to repay all the money from that to people who, said, "Hey, that was me." Send them the email, you'll get your money back now, or the credit for 150% of your money at War Games Atlantic, which was kind of cool. Shitty that a Kickstarter didn't fund in the first place, but it's nice to see somebody actually making good on a Kickstarter that didn't fund and go through, or that didn't go through. Given I think we've all had those interactions where we backed a Kickstarter and then it didn't go through and we were all sad. I know I certainly have. But yeah, that was really cool to see, to be honest with you. It was one of those, because again, I mean, you guys have heard me go on and on and on and on about this on more episodes probably than anybody would care to count or listen to. How the business model is the same, right? Between the I think Wargames Factory used to call it Vox Populi, like the voice of the people to vote on what kits they wanted you to do next, and then how the kits are just so similar in terms of the obscene number of bits and like specifically heads and stuff that would come in kits to make them variable, um, just like Wargames Atlantic does. Cool stuff. But yeah, that there was an art. Somebody put an article. I saw an article about that today. That was kind of interesting to see. But yeah, I don't know, man. Huh? I don't know. I've been in a weird hobby funk the last like few weeks in terms of I don't necessarily have a project I'm working on, and as you guys know, that can sometimes be semi detrimental to my productivity, which makes me sad.
Well, get out your green stuff and start molding ball bomber masks.
That's true. I'm still waiting on my 15s to come in though, because those that's fair. Those I did, and I was looking at different. Currently, I'm printing. I think I might have talked about this last week. I don't remember. Printing Normandy buildings for a guy locally who. Oh yeah, we did talk about this because that's why I was really happy that Chris found Toddy's old files from the Arnhem Kickstarter for World at War or whatever. Because I'm printing corner row houses for a guy locally, and the exchange is I'll print the row houses, and then I'll print. He needs 4 row houses, and I'll print 4 other buildings. And in exchange for the row houses, he'll paint the 4 other buildings, which is pretty slick. But I was looking at they have a number of smaller scale American conflicts, whether that's AWI or French and Indian War or whatever else. And I was looking for buildings in those that would work well to be printed at 15 mil for ball jobber buildings. And I think there's a number of them. I also found a bunch of smaller scale split rail fence sections to print for that sort of thing. Even though split rail fences weren't as common in Missouri as elsewhere, they're still super ubiquitous for the time. You know what I mean?
Right, that and stone fences. A lot of rock fences in that area.
Well, a lot of you also oftentimes saw the rock like based fence with then wood toppers, whether those were like snake fences or just, I guess split rail is what I was talking about. You didn't see the snake fences quite as much in Missouri as you saw like rock topped wood fences and shit, or rock based wood fences and stuff like that. Um, Especially in the Ozarks where you've just got chunks of sandstone in everything. So as you're clearing fields and whatnot, you just wind up with low stone fences that you keep adding to and adding to and adding to.
People think I'm joking when I tell them we have to pick up a fresh crop of rocks every year.
No, picking stones is a real thing you now.
No, I mean, I know, like, we do it every year.
Yeah. 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 That being said, it is also super cool when you are occasionally wandering around in the woods in Missouri or somewhere else and you find a wall
Mm-hmm.
down at camp. There's a real cool little, they call it a valley. It's not really a valley as much as it just is kind of a grotto that's real low. So again, it's all sandstone. So where you've got a cool little sandstone ringed tiny valley, I guess you could call it, just area between two fingers off of a ridge. But there's a couple of those that were stone fenced in for various things at some point in time. And those are really, really cool to just kind of sit in and see and be, man, this is somebody spent a lot of time building these up. That's pretty cool. The sandstone doesn't necessarily lend itself to dry building as well as some other stone does. So it really is just big old piles of rocks. But yeah, cool stuff.
Check out the rock wall reinforcement on this.
Oh hell, Jesus! That's actually got mortar and everything in it. Look at that.
We don't know why.
Is that on the property down there?
Yeah, it's
Oh shit! I didn't even see the right side. Damn. That's super cool. What's back there? Anything?
It's a cave. That's all we know. I walked probably 20, 30 yards back in there and decided, nope, I'm coming back with a bigger flashlight.
Bring a candle too,
Yeah.
like on a stick.
And yeah, I had a rifle and 45 Colt, and I was like, I might want a handgun.
No, I mean a candle for like determining your air quality.
Yes. No, I know.
Before you all of a sudden wind up walking down a cave, and then all of a sudden Reese is just dead in a cave somewhere because carbon dioxide and monoxide and whatnot are a bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't die. Like that'd be super cool to know what's back there, but don't die.
No,
Nice.
we're pretty good at exploring caves in the Ozarks.
Yeah, no, I get it. I get it.
So I'm trying to get them all explored before hibernation season sets in.
Yeah, man. Missouri had its first bear death since like 1892 or something this year.
Wait, Missouri had one?
Yeah. Black
Oh.
bear got like a 60-year-old guy.
No, that was a Missouri man killed in Arkansas.
Oh, well, there you go.
So
Either way,
yeah, because he was killed at Sam's Throne.
there you go. Well, that means war if you guys are killing our people.
I mean, you're welcome to come into the woods and try to kill our bears. We have a hard enough time killing them as it is.
That's fair. Missouri's on a lottery. Dude, Missouri has bear seasons now, but you have to call every morning.
That's really stupid.
Whatever, man.
I mean, it starts on Saturday.
It's cool to have a bear season.
So, Missouri bear season runs October 18th through 31st
Uh-huh.
with a maximum of 40.
Yes.
Arkansas bear season.
40 bears
Yeah.
for
Statewide.
one person?
Statewide.
No,
Okay.
statewide.
So I was about to say, I didn't think we had that bad of a bear problem.
Daniel Boone's coming down.
Yeah.
Shit.
Well, that's kind of the issue, though, Chris, is that they are becoming a problem, which is why there's a season now.
Yeah, I mean, they're killing people down here.
Oh, I get that, but
So-
still.
September 18th to November 30th in Arkansas, and I'm not sure what our quota is. Florida has a bear season now too.
They do. I saw that.
No, that's just husky women in big bathrobes.
I don't know if that's what the colloquial term bear means, but that's okay.
I agree.
I wasn't referring to that type of bear, but
Oh,
So
okay.
Zone 1 has 550 bears. Zone 3's quota of only 5 bears. Zone 4 is 25 bears. So I think what's that come up to? 580 bears.
Yeah.
So yeah.
that's all
Sounds like-
bears.
Missouri elk stuff, because they got elk season now, too. Which is kind of cool, but most of those are managed. Like,
Yeah.
you're paying a pretty penny to take an elk. But
We
shit happens.
we've got elk season down here. We've had it a long time.
I got to mute for a second. Just a moment, guys.
Earlier, we were talking about Kickstarters, and one that finally fulfilled is Catalyst Games. Leviathans finally got out. So now, are they actually going to do anything more with it? I don't know. But it was good to see that finally shipped. Did everybody leave me?
Nope, I'm still here. I'm glad
Okay.
I'm glad it shipped. I just
Yeah,
didn't know enough about it to have an educated conversation. So
Well, so Catalyst Games came out with the original Leviathans like 15 years ago, and they then went to do another Kickstarter. Well, things got screwed up because who they were doing the product through in China basically took their molds and artwork and all that, and because their story is they did something wrong in the contract, so they lost all of their IP, so they had to start from scratch. And so this particular, when was it supposed to have been? I can't even remember how long ago it was that it was since it was supposed to have gone, or let's see, not what I wanted. It's been a long ass time. I couldn't tell you. So let's go back. There's been 83 updates that they're going back. Of the 83. So we've got updates going all the way back to update 23 was on August 21st of 2022. He's back. All right. So
There you go.
yeah, it's been a long time coming. Over, I think it's like 5 or more years since it funded.
Yeah, it's been a little ridiculous, but I got the ships finally. Yeah. Honestly, it wouldn't have been that bad, except for that it's that it was like 2 or 3 BattleTech Kickstarters in between.
Yeah, that's I think that's one of the things that probably torqued the most people, ticked people off the most,
Yeah.
was that it didn't seem to be a priority to them.
Yeah, it seems like a fair way to put it.
So,
I was about to say, that's a good question. When did that launch? Let's see here.
well, I've got.
Let's see. You're good. I'm scrolling.
The first update was made on August 2nd, 2022. Which
Yeah,
looks
so
like
right at like 3 years and a little bit.
yeah. Now, to be fair, Blood and Fury took a while to get out there also.
Yeah, Blood and Plunder, like Blood and Fury.
Yeah.
From Lock and Load?
World War
Yeah.
85. But they didn't have. Yes, they had other games come out, but they didn't have other crowdfunding games come out before it.
Yeah.
So, um, so I'm glad that, like I said, I'm glad that it finally hit the shelves, so to speak, or hit the post boxes. Um, not sure. Like I said, I'm not sure if they're really going to do anything more with it. I would hope to think that they would. Um, I would like to see it out, on retail shelves.
Ultimately, I think the issue that they're going to run into is people were really, really excited for it 3 years ago, 2 years ago, maybe even a year and a half, year ago.
Yeah,
Half the people that you see people posting, I forgot I ordered this thing, but I got it.
yep.
Dang. But I think um, we're playing with the figures next week. I think we're going to try and do full thrust. I don't honestly know anybody who was thrilled for the rules. I think everybody was pretty excited about the
Yeah, just the models in general.
uh-huh.
Yeah, I was the same way with the rules. I'm suspecting that they didn't change from the original set that they did. So yeah, it seemed like one of those things that they were a little more. Again, they tried to be "quote unquote" realistic, but were doing things that really didn't help any.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, that'll happen. The ships are kind of cool. The real question is, do they need a coat of dull coat before you hit them with like washes and stuff?
I think so.
I would
Again,
imagine so.
if they're anything like the original ones that I've got,
Uh-huh.
I would say yes.
There you go.
Yes. Um, I'm working diligently on getting my ships finished for tomorrow night.
Nice.
Um, um, and then it's a play test for the scenario that I'm running at Tacticon, which I finally got my information in at Tacticon. So I am officially running the game. It's the 11 a.m. slot on Saturday.
That's
Nice.
I'm not sure I'll be able to make it to any part of Tacticon, but I can catch
Fair
y'all
enough.
like afterwards or something.
Hell yeah.
somewhere.
Yeah, for dinner maybe.
Potentially,
Or
yeah.
just to say hi. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there like a events listing for that or anything? Like a PEL or like a list of what's going on there?
Yeah. If you go to the the Tacticon website, which is powered through
Tabletop
Game
events?
Table or some shit like that. What's that?
Tabletop events?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's still showing as the 2024 dates. Is there actually an updated thingy on that?
Yeah. You can, if you go to the tabletop events and click on conventions, and then type in Tacticon, it will show the current.
Oh, okay. Is Tachcon spelled with a K?
Takitocon.
Oh, I gotcha. TAKTICON.
TICON. Yep.
Yeah, it's not showing up. And it's tabletop.events.
It is, tabletop.events. Search Tacticon. It's when you go to the main screen and click the conventions. The first convention on the list currently is Millennium Con, which is this coming weekend. Which, God, I want to go back to so badly. They've moved it. It's no longer in Round Rock. It's now in Temple, Texas. I guess the Dallas folks bitched about it enough that they moved it. But if you go to the second, third, it's the fourth page, halfway through, November 7th through the 9th.
I gotcha.
And then you click on attend and then event schedule. And then you can click on miniatures just to see which miniature games. And there's 37 miniatures games currently slated. So, and I am in there for where am I? Yeah, I'm Saturday morning at 11 a.m.
I am looking forward to it, to seeing what y'all come up with. So
I'm in the same room with Introduction to Warhammer 40K.
I bet you have a better draw.
I hope so.
Anything interesting besides y'all this year?
Let's see. Glorious Adventures in the Age of Steam.
Oh yeah, big fan of those.
Yep.
I wonder who's running Canvas Eagles. That could be fucking cool.
That'd probably be Doug and those guys, wouldn't it?
No.
Not Doug.
He does. Canvas Eagles is being run by. Oh yeah, it is Doug. Yep, it is Doug.
There's a lot of kind of cool stuff, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Finding a bunch of like black powder games and sharp practice.
Saga North American Grand Championship tournament is being played there.
Oh hell yeah, dude! Somebody's playing. Oh, Pat Connaughton. Is that Pat Connaughton? I don't know. It looks like it's putting on the Bloody Cup, based on Regatta and Limeys and Slimies. But the host is Kana JP. I wonder if that's Pat Connaughton.
Probably.
That could be badass. Ah, Wings of Glory. Outstanding.
I figured out. I'm messing around with slicers and stuff. I figured out what percentage I need to scale my Skullforge guys up to be 54 millimeter or to be 1/35th scale, because I think I'm going to do it 1/35th.
Nice.
Let's see. There is a bold action tournament, a DBA tournament,
There's a bold axe tournament. How the hell do I find that? I might get some guys from St. Louis to come out if that's the case.
Yeah. It's goes from 9 a.m. to 8:50 p.m. They've got 14 slots open. It's a 16-person tournament.
Fair.
Official Warlord Games terrain tables will be on site to play your missions on. We'll have
Yeah,
Warlord prize support for the event.
that's pretty standard stuff.
1250 points max. 16 order dice max. No effective armor value 10 plus. Only one activation spotter FO a turn.
Yeah, I'm reading that. Yeah. And that's on the 7th or on the 8th. Okay.
Yeah, it's Saturday. I mean, the ticket for the weekend is only $35.
Yeah.
Let's see if I got my game going. Yeah, my little blurb is in the Blackwater as the Surigao Strait, the Japanese fleet charges into a deadly trap. Torpedo streak, guns thunder, and radar guided fire turns night to day. The last great battleship duel in history has begun.
Hell yeah.
That should get people blood thumping.
It better.
Let's see what else is out there. The Lonely Outpost, set in the 19th century, a small British force is holed up in an isolate fort, waiting for a relief column to arrive. The modest forces are besieging. Will the relief column make it? Come and find out. 10mm scale Warlord Games Black Powder rules based on the Block on the Nile scenario book. Also,
Who's hosting that one?
Con AJP.
I wonder if that is Pat. That sounds very similar to a game that he runs over here. Huh, cool.
Battle of Lutzen, 1632. Its rules will be Lion of the North. Whatever that means. Not heard of those rules before. Arena combat in ancient Rome.
We saw that in a circus racing game. There's a local guy who did Avalon Hills Circus Maximus in miniatures. That's pretty fun. I played that a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, someone does that down in Texas quite frequently, and they actually do actual wagering. The spectators
Hell yeah.
like red team is gonna tip over blue team by the next turn. Okay, I'll put $1 down on that.
Ah, geez, there you go. Nice.
See what else we got out there. Battle of Wagram? Wagram?
Yeah, it's Napoleonic.
Oh, okay. The rules are Madrid to Moscow. Again, never heard of them.
Okay, I figured out my scale for Shatterpoint miniatures too.
There you go.
Somebody's doing some math here. And it's Reese. Fun fact. Good stuff. Hell yeah, dude.
There's the miniature of Admiral Thrawn that's just standing there with his hands behind his back
Yeah.
is the perfect miniature to sit and figure scales on.
That makes sense.
So
Yep. Skelgremlin says, "Kick startled, receiving a package from a crowdfunding campaign that so long overdue you forgot about it."
Amen. Yeah. That's a good word.
kick startled. I'm gonna have to remember that.
Yep.
Well, gents, I've had a long night. I think I'm gonna knock off to bed. So
I am going to do the very same, folks.
All right. Well, I think
It's
we'll
good
go
seeing
ahead and
everybody.
wrap up.
Later, Paulie.
I've got some painting I need to get taken care of, and sitting here talking with you folks is distracting me. I still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ships I've got to get painted. So,
get them knocked out.
Yep. Well, I've got today and tomorrow before 5:30. So,
You can get it done before then.
yeah. All right. Well, guys, thanks so much for dropping in. Scala and Chris Long was here. My brother dropped in. Ninguaya was here. Telemachus. Charles, I'm glad you're doing better, buddy. Jeffy, thanks for dropping in. Mutt, always good to see you. Mike and the rest. Telemachus, we will talk to you soon, and until the next time, we'll see you on the flip side.